To some people, a house is just a place where they go to eat, sleep, and maybe watch some TV if they get the chance. To other people, it is a home. Places where they can live comfortably and happily and perhaps even raise a family. Then, there are those who are not happy with what houses have become or what they have been expected to look like. Now, these people can sometimes build the craziest spaces to live in. Whatever you think a house is supposed to be, forget it. Here are the 10 most unusual houses in the world. Now, before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 10. The house shaped like a shoe. Now, as far as unusual houses go, we are getting our list off to a promising start with the shoe-shaped house in South Africa. The South African shoe house is one of many shoe-shaped houses in the world. It was built back in 1990 by entrepreneur and artist Ron Van Zyl. The shoe house is situated along the Panorama route on the border of Limpopo and Mpumalanga provinces. Ron Van Zyl is a South African artist and hotelier who initially constructed it for his beloved wife Yvonne, who wanted a shoe, and so this landmark was built here for her. Now, the building itself is comprised of 3 stories with a large garden out the front of it. Nowadays, the house is used as a museum and is part of a larger project which includes a campsite and a chalet guest house, as well as a restaurant, bar pool, and a curio shop. The museum is full of stone and wood carvings, all made by the architect himself, Ron Van Zyl. Now, there is a cave nearby where people can visit and even choose to get married at the underground chapel. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Number 9. The Cube Houses in Rotterdam. Now, the Dutch may be famous for many things, but amongst them is not necessarily architecture, unless of course you take into the account the Cube Houses of Rotterdam. Number 9 on our list are a set of curious houses that are all shaped like cubes, but not in the way that you might imagine. This set of innovative houses, which have been built in Rotterdam and Helmond in the Netherlands, are the brainchild of designer and architect Piet Blom. They are based on the concept of living as an urban roof, theory based around high-density living with sufficient space on the ground level, since the main purpose is to optimize the space inside. The traditional structure that makes up a house was tilted by Blom, and he then rested it on a 6-sided pylon. The houses are meant to represent a tree, and all of them together are a forest. The main idea of the cube houses around the world is to optimize the space and to distribute the rooms inside in a much better way. Well, nobody could ever accuse this guy of being a square. Number 8. The Glass House. The Japanese have a reputation for doing things a little bit differently. Building houses is no different, which can be seen clearly in the next house on our list. This next house comes from the mind of Sao Fukimoto Architects and is located in downtown Tokyo. It is known as House Na, and it definitely stands out with its see-through stylings. Unlike all the other houses around it, this house has done something different when it comes to appearance and structure. The inside of the house has hardly any walls at all. There are floor-to-ceiling windows everywhere to let in plenty of daylight. There is, however, a downside to having glass surrounding your living areas: a certain lack of privacy. Almost everything in this house can be seen from the outside and is therefore exposed to neighbors and passerby. While it is definitely a standout design, walls were designed for a reason, and the tenants of this house will soon miss them. There are, however, plenty of areas where you can just hang out as if you were on the branch of a tree. This then is truly what it was designed to be: a modern treehouse for adults. Number 7. Skateboard House. For some people, a house is that thing that you hope to one day own for yourself, something that you get when you grow up. Then there are those who refuse to grow up, and why wouldn't their houses want to do the same? Our next house comes from the United States, where one architecture firm has joined the worlds of house and skate park to create something truly unique. For generations of skateboarders everywhere, this house must be a dream come true. I mean, imagine being able to practice your board skills inside your home. Meet the PAS Skateboard House, which is a private residence project to be built in Malibu, California. In this amazingly unique house, you will be able to skate any of the surfaces, both indoor and outdoor. The client and visionary behind this amazing house is the founder of Etnie Skateboarding Gear and former world champion Pierre-Andre Senizerg. This house is the first of its kind in that it is the only house ever to be built for both living in as well as skated throughout. The house has 3 separate spaces which are used as a living room, a dining room, and kitchen areas. Then there's a bedroom, a bathroom area, and the third is a skateboard practice area. Number 6. The world's thinnest house. In a housing market that is running out of spaces to build, it is crazy the ideas that some people will come up with in order to utilize what little space there is left. Proof of this use of the tiniest spaces to make a living area in can be seen in our next house, the Carrot House in Poland. Known widely as the world's thinnest house, the Carrot House is an art installation and structure in Warsaw, Poland. This thin house was built by architect Jakub Schnafsky through the architecture firm Centrala. The house itself only measures 92 centimeters at its thinnest point and just under 155 centimeters at its widest. The structure is squeezed in between 2 buildings in the center of the city and will be used to provide a temporary home for traveling writers. This 2-story art installation was named after Israeli writer and filmmaker Etgar Keret, who was the building's first tenant. Keret plans to give the house to a friend after he moves out. Number 5. Dick Clark's Flintstones inspired house. Now there are those people out there that have enough money to build anything that they please. If they decided, for example, to build a house that was inspired by an old cartoon from their childhood, for example, well then, they could do just that. And our next item on the list comes from the US, where Dick Clark once built a house based on the much-loved children's TV program, The Flintstones. The television legend created a one-off residence which was based on the home of Fred and Wilma in the 60s cartoon show. This real-life version of the Flintstones bedrock home has 1 bedroom and 2 bathrooms, a fireplace, and a host of large glass windows that allow its occupant to enjoy the amazing views that surround the property. Views on offer include both city lights as well as sunsets, the Serrano Valley, the Boney Mountains, and the Pacific Ocean from the $3.5 million property, which sits on 22 acres of land. It is currently up for sale if you feel like treating yourself to a cartoon cave house. Number 4. The House on a Rock. Now there are some people who absolutely need to live deep in the heart of the city. These people crave social interaction and the smells and sounds of city life. For some, it can get so bad that they cannot sleep without hearing the traffic roaring past outside. Then, there are those who enjoy the peace and quiet that life can offer. The people who crave solitude, and these are also the people that will do just about anything to get it. It is amazing the lengths that some people will go to so as not to have neighbors. The story of the House on the Rock goes back 50 years to the year 1968, when this unique house was first built. On the River Drina in a town in western Serbia, a group of young people who enjoyed exploring the great outdoors thought that this rock would be a great place for shelter. The house was so well built by the youngsters that it is still standing today, even after 5 decades and constant testing by floods as the river rises around it. Number 3. The Nautilus House. People decide to build houses in a wide array of strange shapes and sizes, and can take inspiration from these buildings from a whole number of things. This next house was inspired by a shape that in nature at least is pretty regular. In our world though, not so much. The shape that I am talking about is that of a shell. The Nautilus House in Mexico is located near Mexico City. It is a unique shell-shaped house that was designed and built by Mexican architect Javier Cenesain of Arquitectura Organica. The house design is very innovative, unusual, and experimental to say the least. The architect decided to base his designs on the life aquatic as seen in real life. It is an example of what he likes to call bioarchitecture, and it uses natural principles of organic forms. A young family with 2 children currently inhabit the space very happily. Number 2. The 1 square meter house. Now we have already seen in our list the crazy lengths that people will go to in order to use small spaces for living and what is becoming a very crowded world indeed. Number 2 on our list shows that houses of the future might be smaller than anybody had imagined. The world's smallest house, or the 1 square meter house, was built by Berlin-based architect Van Bo Leemensel. The house is actually a do-it-yourself wooden structure which uses up only 1 square meter of space when it is fully assembled. The 1 square meter of space can be used as a dwelling, a mobile kiosk, or even an extra room for your apartment according to its makers. There is also a flipping mechanism involved which allows the space to be used both vertically or horizontally. This wooden frame, slide window, and lockable door do not really combine to give you 5-star accommodation, But there are still applicants for this design first. The house is equipped with a small kitchen area that folds out and is on wheels so that it can be moved around with ease. Number 1. The airplane house. For some, the thought of living in an ordinary, normal, and average-looking house just will not fly, and we have seen on this list that people do just about anything to make their dream house a reality. Number 1 on our list is the ingenious use of a familiar shape to make a beautiful place to live. This is what happened when an American woman with ties to an airport through her brother-in-law was able to buy an old Boeing 727 for just $2,000. The woman's brother-in-law was an air traffic controller at a nearby airport and knew about the plane having just been retired. The 127-foot-long plane was moved 69 miles to its final home. The plane spent 4 months being renovated, and when it was finished, it had a jacuzzi in the cockpit, remote control stairs, 3 bedrooms, a living room, a dining room, a fully equipped kitchen, a laundry area, and of course, the master bedroom. The project cost a total of $24,000. Now that is one way to make your unusual housing project really take off. Attention Daily Top Teners! We have breaking news, a new channel alert. The most entertaining channel on YouTube is finally here, and they are giving away free iPhone Xs. All you have to do is subscribe to come along to win. It's full of super exciting cool facts, riddles, life hacks, and mysteries to keep you entertained. But don't take my word for it. Click on the screen now to see the latest video, or click the round yellow sun looking button and subscribe